Some of the world's most famous inventions were literally created by accident. Your microwave? A melted candy bar. Your Post-it notes? A glue that failed. Penicillin? A dirty petri dish. These weren't brilliant plans. They were mistakes that changed humanity. So here are the top 10 everyday things invented completely by accident. And number 1 will blow your mind. So let's jump in. 10. Post-it notes. The glue that wasn't sticky enough. In 1968, 3M chemist Spencer Silver was trying to create a super strong adhesive for aircraft. Instead, he accidentally made the opposite, a weird glue that stuck lightly but peeled off cleanly, completely useless for planes. For years, Silver had what he called a solution without a problem. Enter his colleague Art Fry, a church choir singer who was frustrated that his bookmarks kept falling out of his hymn book. He brushed Silver's weak adhesive onto slips of paper and suddenly had removable bookmarks. That became the first Post-it note. Today we use them for everything, from exam notes to million-dollar product roadmaps, all because one glue failed at its original job. 9. Microwave oven, the melted candy bar. Engineer Percy Spencer is working at Raytheon, testing radar equipment that uses powerful microwave-emitting magnetrons. He notices something strange. The chocolate bar in his pocket has melted. Curious, he puts popcorn kernels near the magnetron. They start popping. Then he tries an egg. It famously explodes in a colleague's face. Spencer realizes microwaves can cook food. He builds a metal box, pumps microwave energy into it, and boom, the first commercial radar-range microwave oven is born. It was massive, expensive, and water-cooled, but it paved the way for the compact kitchen microwave you probably use today. A melted candy bar, an entire new way of cooking. 8. Popsicles. A kid forgets his drink outside. Our next accidental inventor was 11 years old. In 1905, Frank Epperson mixed a sweet soda powder drink with water, left a stirring stick inside, and forgot it on his porch overnight. It was freezing cold. By morning, the drink had turned to ice around the stick. He pulled it out and had the first ice pop on a stick. Years later, he patented it and sold it under the name Popsicle. So every summer when you bite into an ice pop, remember, it started as a kid's unfinished drink and a cold night. 7. Potato chips, the too-thin revenge snack. According to popular stories, in the 1850s at Moon's Lake House in Saratoga Springs, New York, Chef George Crumb had a fussy customer who kept sending back his fried potatoes for being too thick. Annoyed, Crumb sliced them paper-thin, fried them until crisp, and salted them heavily, expecting the customer to hate them. Instead, the customer loved them. Other diners did too, and the Saratoga chip was born. Historians say the exact origin story is probably more myth than fact, but the basic truth holds. Thin, crispy fried potatoes became a runaway hit, and today, potato chips are a multi-billion-dollar global addiction. 6. Coca-Cola, from headache tonic to global drink. In 1886, Atlanta pharmacist John Stith Pemberton was trying to create a new medicinal syrup, a non-alcoholic alternative to a popular coca wine tonic, after local prohibition laws tightened. His flavored syrup, made from coca leaves and cola nuts, was accidentally mixed with carbonated water at a pharmacy soda fountain. Customers loved the fizzy version, and it started being sold as a refreshing drink for 5 cents a glass. The headache cure slowly transformed into Coca-Cola, now one of the most recognizable beverages on Earth, all from a happy mixing mistake. 5. Superglue, too sticky to be useful at first. During World War II, chemist Harry Coover was working on clear plastic gun sights. In 1942, his team synthesized cyanoacrylates, a family of compounds that stuck to everything they touched. That was a disaster for precision optics, so they shelved it. Years later, Coover revisited the material and realized that its problem was actually its superpower. It could bond almost anything instantly at room temperature. In 1958, it launched commercially as Super Glue and similar cyanoacrylate brands, now found in toolboxes, classrooms, and surgery rooms worldwide. Sometimes a material is too good for the project you're working on until you give it a new job. 4. Teflon, the gas that turned into non-stick. In 1938, DuPont chemist Roy J. Plunkett was experimenting with gases related to new refrigerants. One gas, tetrafluoroethylene, was stored in pressurized cylinders. When he opened a valve one day, no gas came out. Cutting open the cylinder, he found the gas had polymerized into a slippery white solid, PTFE, later branded as Teflon. Teflon turned out to be incredibly non-reactive and non-stick, used first in military and industrial applications, then in non-stick cookware, wiring, and aerospace, all because one day, the gas disappeared. 3. Velcro, a hike with a dog. In 1941, Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral went for a walk in the Alps with his dog. When they returned, both man and dog were covered in burdock burrs. Instead of just brushing them off, de Mestral examined a burr under a microscope and saw tiny hooks that latched onto loops in fabric and fur. He spent years recreating this hook and loop structure synthetically. The result was Velcro, patented in the 1950s, now used in shoes, jackets, cable ties, medical equipment, and even spacesuits. One annoying plant burr became a whole biomimicry revolution. 2. Penicillin, forgotten petri dishes. In 1928, microbiologist Alexander Fleming returned from vacation to find some of his petri dishes contaminated with mold. On one dish, he noticed clear zones where Staphylococcus bacteria had been killed around the mold colony. The mold was identified as Penicillium species, and Fleming named the antibacterial substance penicillin. It took another decade of work by Howard Florey, Ernst Chain, and colleagues to purify and mass-produce it, but penicillin became the world's first widely used antibiotic and has saved hundreds of millions of lives. A dirty lab bench became one of humanity's greatest medical breakthroughs. 1. X-rays glowing screen in a dark lab. In 1895, physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was experimenting with cathode ray tubes covered in black cardboard to block visible light. In a darkened lab, he noticed that a nearby fluorescent screen started glowing even though it shouldn't have been hit by light. He realized some unknown, powerful radiation was passing through objects and making the screen glow. He called them X-rays, X for unknown. Soon, he was imaging the bones in his wife's hand, and medicine had a new superpower, looking inside the body without surgery. Today, from dental checkups to airport security, X-rays are everywhere, all because a screen glowed when it shouldn't. So what's the pattern here? A weak glue becomes Post-its. A melted candy bar becomes the microwave. Moldy dishes become antibiotics. Burrs on a dog become Velcro. These stories aren't just fun trivia. They're a reminder that accidents plus curiosity equals innovation. The difference between a mistake and a breakthrough is often just someone who stops and asks, "Wait, what happened here?" If you enjoyed this deep dive into accidental inventions, drop a comment. Which one shocked you the most? Tell me if you want a part 2. There are plenty more: safety glass, chocolate chip cookies, even pacemakers. And of course, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who thinks their mistakes never amount to anything, because who knows? Your next oops might be the world's next big thing.